The day my mother handed me a piece of paper and told me to sign it, I thought she was trying to help me. I was wrong. That single signature cost me everything my father worked 30 years to build. His house, his savings, his land. Gone. Transferred into my mother's name while I stood there smiling like a fool. But here is what she did not know. Karma was already on its way. My name is Margaret. I am 61 years old, and I live alone in a small apartment in Ohio. 3 years ago, I had a home, a savings account, and a family I trusted with my life. Today, I have none of those things. But the person who took them from me? She has nothing either. Let me tell you exactly what happened. My father passed away in the spring of 2021 after a long illness. He was a quiet, hard-working man who never asked for anything from anyone. He spent his entire life building something for his family, a house paid in full, a savings account with $240,000, and a piece of land just outside the city that had been in our family for over 40 years. He left all of it to me. I was his only child. His will was clear. His lawyer confirmed everything. I was the sole beneficiary of every single thing my father owned. My mother had remarried years earlier, and my father had made sure his estate was protected. He was careful. He was thorough. He loved me, and he wanted me taken care of. What he did not plan for was what my mother would do next. 2 weeks after my father's funeral, my mother called me. She was crying. She told me she was struggling. She said she had nowhere to go and nothing to her name. She said she just needed a little help getting back on her feet. I felt sorry for her. I should not have. She asked me to come over. She said she had some paperwork she needed help understanding, documents related to my father's estate. She said her eyes were bad and she could not read the small print properly. I drove 40 minutes to her house. She had papers spread across her kitchen table. She pointed to a line near the bottom of one page and handed me a pen. She said it was just a formality, a signature confirming I had received notice of the estate proceedings. I signed it. I did not read it. That was the biggest mistake of my life. 6 weeks later, I received a letter from a law office I did not recognize. It informed me that the property and savings account previously held in my father's estate had been successfully transferred to my mother. I read that letter 4 times standing in my kitchen. My hands were shaking so badly I dropped it on the floor. I called the lawyer immediately. He confirmed what the letter said. The document I had signed was not a formality. It was a legal transfer of beneficiary rights. I had signed away everything my father left me. My mother had planned the entire thing. She had hired her own lawyer weeks before she called me crying. She had prepared the documents in advance. The tears, the story about struggling, the bad eyesight, all of it was a performance designed to get me into that kitchen and get my signature on that paper. I sat down on my kitchen floor and I cried for 2 hours straight. I hired a lawyer the very next day. He told me the case was difficult, but not impossible. The document I signed could potentially be challenged if we could prove I did not understand what I was signing, that I had been deliberately deceived. We filed a case. My mother hired a team of lawyers paid for with my father's money. The case went on for 14 months. 14 months of court dates and legal fees and sleepless nights. I had to sell my car to pay my lawyer. I moved out of my apartment and into my sister's spare room because I could no longer afford rent. My mother never once showed remorse. She sat across from me in that courtroom every single time, and she looked straight through me like I was a stranger. I will never forget that as long as I live. In the 14th month of our case, something happened that nobody expected. My mother's own lawyer contacted my legal team. It turned out my mother had also been deceiving him. She had provided him with falsified documents during the original transfer. Documents that changed the nature of the case entirely. Her lawyer withdrew from her representation immediately. The judge reviewed the new evidence. He found that the original transfer had been obtained through deliberate deception and misrepresentation. The ruling came back in my favor. The house, the savings, the land, all of it returned to me. My mother was ordered to pay full legal costs for both sides. She lost everything she had stolen. Every single cent. I stood outside that courthouse, and I looked up at the sky, and I thought about my father. He was careful for a reason. He was thorough for a reason. He left a paper trail so clear that even 14 months later, even after everything she did, the truth was impossible to hide. My mother called me once after the ruling. She left a voicemail. She did not apologize. She said I had always been selfish. I never called her back. I moved back into my father's house 3 months later. I sat in his old chair by the window, and I watched the sun go down over his land. Our land. And I thought about something my father used to say when I was a little girl. He used to say, "The truth always finds its way home." He was right. And so does karma. If this story moved you, subscribe to Karma Finds You. Every week, we bring you true stories of betrayal, justice, and the moment karma finally shows up. Hit the bell, leave a comment below, and if you have a story of your own, tell us. You might be next. Karma finds you. It always does.